Hey, long time no see, haha. It's me, Belle. It's been probably like a year, I want to say, conservatively, since I've made a video, which is pretty mortifying. I've been trying to make videos over and over and over again for all this time in between, I swear. And just a lot of things, first they went wrong, and then I just started getting this weird anxiety about making videos like all in my head, plus the contrast between like my actual personality and then the personality that I was kind of like showing in my videos before this. That was all like weird and chipper and hi everybody, and more of like what I act like when I'm at work, my customer service kind of voice thing, if that makes sense. And that just ain't me, fellas. Get the shoulders down there. My choir teacher would hate me. On top of that, like, I made videos in the past of having like this living doll style kind of thing, but like that is also kind of why do I keep saying kind of? That also really isn't me anymore. And segue, that's what this video is kind of gonna be about. It's gonna be about my fashion sense and how I found that, what it is, all that cool stuff. And no more anticipation. Hello, my name is Belle and I identify as a fairy princess. Fantabulous. It really is just kind of like a fashion aesthetic, feel good about myself thing. Like, you know, like how some people are goth. Like, it's just, I like dressing like this. I dress like this every day, except when I go to work. Because, duh, I gotta tone it down a little bit. Can't glue gems all over to my face and put glitter on. I've actually known since like beginning of my senior year of high school that this is kind of the path I wanted to go, and like when I figured it out, it all just made sense to me. Before then, like kind of more sophomore year, I was more into like Decora J fashion mixed with like tight jeans and vests. And then junior year, because I got a bunch of hand-me-downs from my gorgeous vintage friend, I was kind of like a girly faux vintage style. And then just like it sounds pretty dumb, but like I had watched the show Ever After High on Netflix because I thought like I could get a good laugh out of this, but it actually isn't the worst thing ever. Like, I love how they dress. I want to look like I'm from a fairy tale every day. But then just kind of at the beginning of senior year, I'm just sitting to myself and I'm like, it all makes sense. Stop lying to yourself. You know you want this. This is what your life has been culminating to. Chop to it. And so yeah, it just was a bit of an inevitable that my life would come to this. And now that I actually have like a real person job, it's really nice that I can actually afford to kind of get myself in the direction of where I want to go with this. So what I kind of like take for like my fairy princess style is it's this mixture of this like high fantasy, beautiful, medieval, glamorous thing, but also just throwing glitter and gems all over it, and it's pink, and throw some ice cream prints on there, and throw some butterflies and a lot of flower print, and that's kind of that. I don't think I've ever seen anybody else just kind of dress like a fairy, kind of like as their style. I've seen like people, there are people who like I've seen dress like an elf daily. There's people who dress like Vikings, you know, there's people who do wear like kind of like medieval style dresses, but nothing that I've like seen kind of quite like this. Not trying to say like I'm the first, but I do think it is, well, obviously it's fairly unique-ish. I'm not trying to put myself on a pedestal here, but I hope, like, kind of with this that I can, like, help some other people find out, like, I want to dress like a magical creature, and then we can meet, and then we can be little magical friend buddies, and then we can have this community of people dressing like fairies running around and frolicking in the woods, or convention hall, or, I don't know, where else can we frolic? Wendy's? And this whole kind of subject is what my channel is going to be about. It's just kind of like my style, what I do with it, talking about kind of things related to this, me, this stuff, just all kind of related to this. Very niche, as you can see. So I don't expect to have the biggest following in the world, but I hope, like, maybe even some people who just are in it for the train wreck, just want to watch it, see where it goes. They don't dress like this, but they want to laugh and point. You're welcome too. That was another thing with, kind of another reason that I didn't like where my channel was initially going, is I had kind of, like, not necessarily the demographic that I wanted, if you know what I'm saying. Like, it was like 75% middle-aged and over men, and I'm like, if you act like a little sugar baby, I don't know, it was just kind of getting not the attention I wanted, if that makes sense. But instead, I kind of want to have a community of people here who are interested in kind of the same things that I am, and not just interested in whacking it. Oh my god. It is going to take me a very long time to get comfortable in front of the camera again, and, well, I wasn't even that comfortable in front of the camera before, and just comfortable with editing videos, and getting good supplies is somewhere on my to buy list. It's just a little bit down because when I put too much into one thing at once, I crash and then I don't do it again for months, and that's not what I want this to be. I want this to be something that I do consistently. Getting into the more specifics of what necessarily it means for me to dress like a fairy, in my case, I take a very formal approach to it. I don't wear pants. I could make a whole video on this. I have not worn, like, pants in 3 years-ish, 2.5 years. Like, I just don't wear pants. Obviously, I wear pajama pants when I'm sleeping, but at this point, points have become so uncomfortable, and just, they rub up against your legs and stuff, but it really started as a thing in an attempt to always dress nice and always dress formal. And I think that really helps. Like, I'll show up to somewhere and they're like, oh my god, Belle, you always dress so nice, you're always ready for everything. And it's like, it's to mask how I'm falling apart on the inside. I am very happy with where I am now with my style. There's still a lot of places I want to go with it. A lot of things on my list of things to get. Like, next up, I want to get corsets. Because they do have this really nice old-fashioned look to them that'll really, like, make my look a bit more classic. I'm losing my voice. But also, I have absolute shit posture, and that'll really help me just look like a normal functioning human of society. And that's multiple of those words I just said do not actually describe what I'll look like. But also, I have scoliosis, and it would just really make me feel better to make my waists look even. I have multiple waists. I have multiple rib cages. I'm actually a centipede. Then after the corsets, I definitely want to get me some little circle lenses and make my eyes look all big and kawaii, because I think that'll look very dandy. As you might be able to tell, one of the more recent additions to my look are my elf ears. I got them like a week and a half ago, and I love them so which I'm going to make an entire review video on them. Don't you worry your pretty little heads off. They're going to be fantastic. There's going to be a video on it, and if there's not, you can lynch me. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. But even though I'm like covered in flowers and glitter and gems, like even with just the ears, people sometimes like think like I'm trying to look like an an elf, which is not necessarily where I want. And it's higher up on my to buy list. But I do eventually want to get myself a pair of fairy wings that I can wear everywhere, every day, forever, until I die. Well, I'll probably actually buy multiple of them, but you gotta start somewhere. I don't think of this as me wasting my money because I do see this as something that I will be into forever and ever, because I'll live forever. And I really don't think this is gonna be just a phase, because like I feel like I would have already gotten my phases over with in like middle school or something, not when I'm like almost a grown-ass woman. And you know, sometimes my mom was very supportive, but sometimes she is like, you're gonna laugh at yourself when you look back at it, and I'll be like, no, I'm gonna be like, wow, I looked fabulous. And I don't understand how anyone is gonna think that I'm gonna be like a normal ass old lady. Like, no, I am so ready to become like the eccentric old woman that like lives down the street with like 50 cats and a bomb ass garden and like makes food for like, I just put pies everywhere and I'll give people my pies, and this is becoming a very vivid daydream. So yeah, hopefully I have a long fairy-filled life to live ahead of me, and I'm glad I'm getting a jump start on it now. Obviously, if you also feel the need deep inside to dress like a fairy, you don't have to dress it exactly like me. You don't have to dress it as colorful as I do, or as loudly as I do, or I specifically like very tight, form-fitting clothes. You don't have to do that. You could be a baggy fairy. Oh my. I really do hope this video actually gets made, and that it's not in limbo forever, because that'll make me a sad little, sad fairy person girl. Munchkin. Can you tell I only wrote points for this video and not a whole ass script? I can. Kill me. Ship yourself to my P.O. box so you can slaughter me, please. So yeah, while I do have infinite video ideas for me to talk about, I do appreciate if you guys have any questions, because there might be some things I don't think about, because I only have this brain and other brains might think of other things. Why am I referring to my brain as some... I am my brain. We are our brains. This is just a flesh mecha. If you have any questions about how I decorate my flesh mecha, leave them down in the comments and I will hopefully respond to them. Before I go, I do have some inspirations that I'd like to show you guys. Probably about the main three, what are they called? Pages? People? Channels on Instagram? People on Instagram, I guess, that I follow are Maria Amanda Official, this beautiful, beautiful unicorn fairy model from Denmark. She is so gorgeous. She is such an inspiration to me. I don't think she dresses like this every day, but like, she is a fantasy model and she's just so gorgeous. Everything she does is a look, and it's, I want to be her for my career. Secondly is Firefly Path. They are this beautiful, beautiful couture line that just makes the most beautiful, beautiful dresses for people. And when I become totally rich and famous, I'm gonna snag all of them, even though they make commissions and you have to order them, so making all of them doesn't make any sense. Whatever. And lastly, Fancy Fairy Angelica? Wait, is it Angelica or Angela? Oh my god. I have shamed you. Let me look it up real quick. That's not the right app. Angela. Huh. Sorry about that. Fancy Fairy Angela, she is she's probably the premier fairy wing artist out there. Everything she makes is so gorgeous, and I want all of her wings, and I want her to love me, and I want her to do commissions again instead of just having auctions. But you do you make your money, you do what you want, and eventually I'll buy all of her wings and then just have a whole hoarding room full of them. It'll look like I just ripped them off of an army of tiny people. And this last inspiration isn't necessarily anything to do with like fairy fantasy style, but I am a massive, massive fan of the YouTuber Pixie Locks. You've probably heard of her if you're into pink. If you're into alternative fashion YouTubers. She is such a sweet angel baby love bug. And I want to be best friends with her, and she really is like an inspiration for me to kind of go out there and stake my claim on this style, because as some of you may know, she did kind of found the style party K, and while I don't dress like that, I love it deeply and love watching everything that she plugs herself into, and by plugs I mean clothes. I'm making a heart with my fingers, look at that. Oh, it's a spider heart. It's got little heart tentacles. She's fantastic. If for some reason you don't watch her but you watch me, go watch her. Do it. So that's probably going to be it for that video. Whichever day this video comes up on, which I'm guessing will be Thursday or Friday, I'll just make videos every week on that day, hopefully. And I don't let you guys down again. And by you guys, I don't mean the nasty, weird old men who were watching me before. So yeah, before I blabber on anymore, goodbye. And I'm trying to think of some helpful advice. Wear shoes that support your arch in your foot. Goodbye.